Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Now This Is Podcasting. I'm your host, Hamish Smith, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rory Williams.
Hello there.
Welcome back to the show, man. So, I just want to apologise before we get into this one with the last podcast being very, very late. Wi-Fi in my area is garbage. It's totally trash. So, I managed to get it uploaded. I went to another house and I got it uploaded on some super fast broadband. So, it's up now. Link in the description, check out the last episode. But that's not the only exciting thing that's happened this week. Last Friday, Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 9 was released. I love it. You gotta love it.
It was so good, honestly. I think I'd say that's probably one of the best Mandalorian episodes so far.
100%. Definitely. It totally blew me out of the water. I was one of the sad acts that was up at 7 a.m. to watch it. Had nothing else to do that day.
Yeah, I had a uni all day. I had to wait until like 3 or 4, I think I had to watch it or something like that.
Jeez. Avoiding Facebook for spoilers, group chats.
Yeah.
Hellish. Couldn't be me. Had to get up at 7 for it. But it was unbelievable. So that's all this episode's going to be about. We've not got 3 topics. We've got the one. So we're just going to dive right into a little episode breakdown. We're going to just tell you what happened if you hadn't seen it already. Just want to mention this now. Spoilers ahead. I should have mentioned that at the start. It is also slapped on the thumbnail as well. Big red spoiler sign. So there is going to be spoilers ahead, obviously. Let's just dive right into it then. So, episode breakdown. We start with the Mandalorian walking down a gloomy street. Creatures in the background, not looking fun for the Mando. And he goes into a boxing area after speaking to this pretty cool Twilight-looking dude. And he goes into this bar where they meet Gor Koresh. Rory, correct me, did I get that name right?
It is Gor Koresh, yes.
Gor Koresh. This weird-looking orc kind of guy, orc cyclops-looking guy. He's got one big eye. Scary-looking guy. He's joined by his little band of mercenaries. Anyway, Mando and Mando join in for a little chat about where to find another Mandalorian. Now,
just to confirm, Gor Koresh is an Abyssin. That's the name of the species.
All right, yeah, we were rattling our brains to find out what that species was, because I don't think we've ever seen it in Star Wars before, have we?
Oh no, it's showed up before, at least in mention.
Yeah. So anyway, we meet the species Gor Koresh. He's chilling. He's obviously a rich man, as we can tell. He's at a nice little boxing ring.
Yeah, and watching the Gamorreans.
The Gamorreans. I was just going to say Jabba's guards.
Yeah, Gamorrean guards. That's where they're most famous from, episode 6.
Yeah, definitely. Jabba's guards. Obviously, Jabba's dead, so they've got to find work. They find work in scrapping. So they're having a little chat. You could tell right off the bat this guy's hostile. He talks about wanting Mando's armor, and he puts a bet on with Mando. Mando, he's a smart guy. He isn't going to put his armor up to chance. All of a sudden, this guy, Gor Koresh, pulls out a gun and shoots one of the Gamorreans, and a little fight breaks out. Everyone runs out the boxing ring. We're not even, well, we're probably about 5 minutes into the episode, and Mando's already got some fighting to do.
Yep, already. Takes out 4 of them at once, though, so it's not much fighting.
Mando, he isn't going to lose to these gangsters. So he kicks their asses and leaves as Gor Koresh is running at the door like a child after being so threatening as well.
Yeah.
But before we get to what happened to Gor Koresh, what was that Gamorrean doing jumping out of the ring and through a table?
Yeah, I don't think the Gamorreans are the smartest species in Star Wars.
he does like the swanton bomb type thing. Jumps out of the ring. Now, don't get me wrong, that's pretty impressive. He jumps over 3 ropes. But he just kind of crashes.
If there's somebody on that table, but there wasn't.
it did seem quite bizarre, but anyway, it gave me a bit of comic relief. Mr. Gor Koresh is now running for his life. He's a small, chubby little guy. He ain't getting nowhere. Mando catches him with a rope and hangs him over a lamppost. And he finally gets his information. Mando wanted to know if there was any other Mandalorians out there, and he gets his information about one on Tatooine. Now, that already had my head thinking, who's a Mando that's on Tatooine?
I turned to my brother and was like, oh my god, Boba Fett, we're about to see him.
Yeah, he's coming. So we see him, Gorkaresh hanging from a lamppost. Guy's looking screwed. Mando's going to kill him. But then Mando's like, nah, I'm not going to hurt you, bro. And he dips. He dips with Baby Yoda, who, by the way, at it a minute ago, he was hiding in his little pod.
Yeah.
So they're leaving. Mando's taking the child, leaving, and Gorkaresh is screaming, cut me down, cut me down, cut me down. Mando's like, look, dude, I'm not going to kill you. But these dogs are, that start appearing from the darkness. Mando shoots out the light so these dog things hear the screams and they kill Gorkaresh. We don't see it because then the intro starts. Mando walks towards the camera, goes all black, and we get our intro. So Rory, I've kind of hogged the spotlight here. Where do we go in the Razor Crest?
Well,
with our new info?
We go to Tatooine, we go to Hangar 3-5, or Peli Motel's Hangar Bay in Mos Eisley, where we meet a character who we first met in, I forget the name of the episode, but...
I think it was episode 6 or 7.
Yeah, who is very excited to see Baby Yoda again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was caretaker for an episode.
Yeah, she babysat him for a short while Mando was off doing stuff, but this time Mando wants to keep Baby Yoda with him. So that's his first encounter on Tatooine, and he gets told that the place he's meant to go to, which is, let me just check. I'm trying to look on
it was
Wikipedia.
Mos Pelgo.
That's it. Mos Pelgo. Sorry, my brain just went there.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it either, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's a city that's been lost to time. It's been basically completely destroyed after the fall of the Empire, and it's so Mando sets off on his way there.
It's exciting stuff. We travel across the desert. We see Tusken Raiders. We all know Mando's pally with those. With those dudes.
The only one who is.
Yeah.
Everyone else hates them.
Yeah, that's true. He's the only guy to really speak to them. But that just shows Mando's intelligence, because those guys are horrible people. The Tusken Raiders are nasty, but they're skillful, they're smart, and if you're on their good side, they can be reliable. So Mando is chilling with them. He's having a nice drink with them. He's vibing with them before setting off on his adventure. And then we arrive at this town, this wreck town. You could see it spin through a hell of a time. It's not looking good. And this clip of him rolling in, you could just feel the western genre pulling you into the screen. Like you could just tell. That confirmed it for me that they're basing this off a western. So Mando comes in on his speeder.
Yeah, he seemed to be like one of the first people to have ever showed up there in so long.
Yeah.
Everyone turning and staring at him.
Everyone was in awe to see the shiny Beskar armor of Din Djarin, the Mando, and he pulls up to a bar, goes into the bar, leaving Baby Yoda outside as well.
Yeah, I was wondering why he's doing that first.
So he goes in.
Tatooine isn't the most pleasant place in the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not a lovely place. So he goes into this bar where we meet another character. Do you know the race of it? We see this race all over the time.
Yeah, it's a weak way.
So he goes up to this bartender and he's like, right, rumor has it there's a Mando in these parts. What can you tell me? And then this is it. We see that shiny, well, not so shiny, green.
Not so shiny at all.
Green Beskar armor, the iconic helmet from episode 5 and 6, standing in the doorway of this bar.
Even at that point, I was like, oh my god, it's Boba Fett. But I was trying to doubt myself because I didn't really think that they were going to show Boba Fett there. And I was right eventually.
Sure enough, Boba Fett, quotation marks, walks in and he talks. And as soon as you hear him talk, you're like, who's this?
Yeah, that's not Tamira Morrison's voice.
Yeah, that's not the guy we know and love. So he sits down, well, first getting a drink, thirsty man, and he sits down and he takes off his helmet, revealing this absolute hunk of sexiness in Cobb Vanth.
God, yeah, he can have me, by the way.
Cobb Vanth is chilling with his slick back hair. That dude was looking cool. He was loving his armor.
Honestly, Timothy Oliphant. Jeez.
It's not the first time we've seen Cobb Vanth.
Yeah,
we've seen him in comics, books.
Yeah, the first appearance was in a 2015 novel called Aftermath, which is written by Chuck Wendig.
So we've seen him before. Well, we've not seen him before, but we know who he is. We've heard
this was his live-action debut.
He's chilling. You can already tell there's going to be confrontation. Mando wants his armor, but Vanth says that it's his armor now. He's defended this town. He's the marshal. That's what the episode's titled. He's the marshal of this town, and he's not going to give it up easy. And you can tell that things were about to kick off, and all of a sudden everything starts shaking, and we get the live-action debut of the Krayt Dragon.
Well, the live-action alive debut of the Krayt Dragon.
The thing shakes the town. Everyone's fearing for their lives as it travels through the burrows of sand underneath.
Yeah, he turns the sand into the sea.
Yeah, oh yeah, he makes it shake. It was scary.
It brings a whole new meaning to the Dune Sea.
Yeah, we already
They
knew it was
always talk
dangerous,
about, yeah,
but it travels through the sands, and it was a scary creature. Very, very scary creature. So
big boy.
Mando and Cobb Vanth, they decide to collide and join forces with each other. Cobb Vanth says to Mando, "If you help me kill this creature, I'll give you your armor." And they make that deal. Mando isn't going to back down from that.
Yeah, no, of course not.
So they're traveling to find out where this creature is, and they get ambushed by Tusken Raiders. Cobb Vanth does not trust these guys after many attacks on his town that he loves and cares about. And he says that a couple of times. He says, he loves that town more than the armor. So
Yeah.
he cares about that town a lot. So when these Tusken Raiders show up, he's immediately in gun mode. But Mando, our little bilingual Mando, gets talking to these guys, and he manages to get the village and the Tusken Raiders to join forces to take on this beast, this massive monster. They've joined sides. That was after we've seen what the Krayt Dragon can do. We meet its home in a Sarlacc pit. Jesus Christ, this thing is a Sarlacc killer, and we already knew the Sarlacc pit was dangerous. But it just proves, it makes Liam Neeson's point true. There is always a bigger fish. We know what this thing can do. We've got two rivals joining sides to take on this beast. Now all they have to go do is kill it. So they travel to the home of the Krayt Dragon, and they take it on in a very creative battle with the bombs underneath the belly.
I remember you saying earlier that the Tusken Raiders are pretty smart.
Yeah.
I think you can't really say that without bringing up that one who tried to tempt the Krayt Dragon out of its home and kept on getting tripped up and eaten immediately.
there's a couple of bad apples. There's always is. So we've seen Tusken Raiders getting slapped about by this thing. It's really screwing them up, and they want to kill it as well. And they've come to an agreement that if they join forces, they won't attack the village if they don't provoke them. Pretty fair deal, if you ask me.
Yes.
So they gather the villagers and the Tusken Raiders. They load bombs onto what are they called? The Banthas, and they set off.
Yes.
Yeah. But a little issue, a little bit of conflict as one of the Tusken Raiders drops an explosive and the villagers kick off. That was the first time we see Cobb Vanth defending a Tusken Raider. He trusts Mando and these Tusken Raiders. And I thought that was a really good moment to see Cobb Vanth standing up for the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, he realizes there's a bigger fight to be fought.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in the scene we'd seen before with him taking on the Tusken Raider group, and then Mando trying to flamethrower them.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a dangerous way to silence an argument.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a gunshot in the air would have settled it. But nope, Mando goes all out with his flamethrower.
Yeah, almost burns their face off.
So we move now to the Sarlacc pit, the final battle, the moment this episode's been building up to. And they take on the Krayt Dragon. They lure it out with explosives underneath the sand. Once again, we see Tusken Raiders getting screwed up by screaming into the pit. You think they'd learn, but they didn't.
You'd think that they'd stand a bit further back, or not send four of them out there.
So here he comes out, and they start firing spikes into it with ropes on the end, trying to pull this thing out to the explosives, and it's a struggle. It's a fight. Mando and Cobb Vanth are sat back, looking badass, and the thing just won't move forward. They keep trying, and eventually they get it out. They set off the explosives, but it wouldn't be Star Wars if that thing had died straight away. Of course it lived.
It's never gonna kill it.
But not only that, they've very, very, very annoyed it. This thing's raging now. And it starts traveling up mountains and up, getting the high ground. It's really read its Obi-Wan books. It's definitely seen Revenge of the Sith. And it comes out of the mountains and it's spitting this acid stuff everywhere. It's hell. It's really hellish.
Yeah.
And Mando, he isn't leaving. He ain't going out with a fight. So him and Cobb Vanth, in a really cool scene, set off their jetpacks up to the mountain to take on this thing. They start shooting at it and nothing's happening.
Yeah, I was just looking at imagine if that was Boba Fett flying up with Mando.
That would have been insane. That would be so cool. But anyway, we see Mando taking on the Krayt Dragon, and it's not working. his gunshots are just practically being swallowed by this thing. And Mando finally thinks of a plan, and he sees this bantha with explosive straps to it. He gets comfy and he says to his co-partner Cobb Vanth, "If I die here, take care of the child. He's your responsibility." And then the Krayt Dragon tunnels towards them. He hits Cobb Vanth's jetpack. He goes flying like Boba Fett did in Return of the Jedi, and the Krayt Dragon swallows Mando and the poor bantha.
Yeah, I don't think the bantha kept trying to tug away from Mando.
Yeah, he kept trying to run. Mando had to pull the thing back after it broke the rope.
Yeah.
But Mando goes inside Krayt Dragon in its belly, maybe just in its mouth. We don't know. And everything disappears. Krayt Dragon goes back into the sand, and everything's quiet. All of a sudden, the sand starts shaking again, and out it arises a big explosive ion burst, potentially. It was like a stun, comes out from the Krayt Dragon's mouth. Mando flies out of its mouth, and boom, the thing combusts. It's gone.
Yeah.
Mando's finally killed it, covered in the acid in its goop. I don't think that was the acid it was spitting about. I think that's just stomach lining, potentially.
Yeah, that's just innards.
Yeah, inner goop. And they fly out, lands, he gets comfy, and they've completed the mission. They've killed the Krayt Dragon. Mando, once again, hero of the episode. He gets his armor off of his co-partner Cobb Vanth, and he begins to set off. That's after the Tusken Raiders find the Pearl Krayt Dragon, which I don't understand the reference to. If you're a High Republic, Old Republic kind of guy, you'll know a little bit of that Pearl. I wasn't too sure on it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Well, I've not really met it. I'm looking into it, and it's something that is worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I can imagine. Oh yeah, definitely.
And rarely a stone would contain a kyber crystal.
Ooh, so that adds to its worth.
Yeah.
100%. So we'll move on now. I've blabbed on about this, and I know you'll want to talk about the end scene. Rory, I'll let you take this end scene of Mando riding off in the sunset.
Man, I don't see. I think we all knew Boba Fett was going to return ever since those trailers where we saw somebody riding a speeder bike and Boba Fett's helmet hanging off the side.
Yeah.
Of course, that wasn't Boba. That was Mando in the end. But as an onlooker watches Mando speed away and turns around to reveal that's the man himself, Tamira Morrison. Honestly, I'm so happy to see him back in a live action form.
Yeah.
And
it's
just as happy as I am to see Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was so interesting to see him back as Boba Fett. First time playing Boba Fett, of course. But
well, the first time physically playing him.
Physically, yeah.
Obviously in the 2004 remasters of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back in Episode 6, he voices over Boba Fett's lines.
But we've got him. He's back.
Yeah.
Well, it is Boba Fett. Obviously, we can get into the theories of stuff. With the most evidence is pointing to Boba Fett, but we still haven't got a name. We've still not got a confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, considering how he looks, obviously doesn't look that great, but he looks
younger,
like younger than a clone would look at that
definitely.
point.
Well, we've seen what the clones looked like in Rebels.
Yeah, and that was 10 years before this, and that's 20 years for a clone.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's definitely Boba Fett. In fact, without a doubt, it's got to be Boba Fett.
Got to be. Yeah.
So that's our little breakdown of the episode. We'll now get into our opinions on the episode. A couple of Easter eggs we noticed here and there, and then I think that's all we've got to talk about. So we'll start with our opinion. In fact, no, we'll start with our references we see in the episode. It starts in our first scene with loads of graffiti art on the wall. We see a little C-3PO art. Obviously, is he kind of a hero of the?
He's a hero. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what he did. I mean, droids probably go a bit more unnoticed than Luke and Han and Leia, etc. But nobody can doubt that he was a hero of the rebellion.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there he is in his art. This isn't confirmed, but it's rumored that Sabine had done a bit of art on that wall.
It does look like it does look like a Sabine art piece.
Yeah. So we see C-3PO, a couple of Stormtrooper helmets graffitied onto the wall. We then travel to Tatooine. Rory, I can imagine you're dying to talk about another little droid that we see.
Yep, what we see in the hangar bay is R5. He was a droid that, if it wasn't for his motivator bursting, the Death Star would never have been destroyed.
That's true. Again,
Uh,
just like C-3PO, he's a war hero.
Yeah, as Coloan tried to buy him from the Jawas in episode 4, and as he was crawling his way over there, his motivator blew, and you can still see the carbon scoring on the
Yeah.
top of his on the top of the droid, which I thought was really cool to see.
Indeed. We then travel a little bit into the episode where we see Mando on his speeder bike and Cobb Vanth in his pod
Mm,
racer.
yeah.
But it's a familiar
Modified.
pod racer. We see Anakin Skywalker's, well, a piece of his pod racer.
Yes, one of the engines.
Yeah. Converted into its own little speeder bike type thing.
Yeah, that was very cool.
It was really interesting to see. It was looking nice. When I saw it, I didn't recognize it to start with, but I did recognize it, but it didn't click in my brain.
I noticed it was a pod racer, but I didn't know it was Anakin's.
Yeah, I read afterwards that it was Anakin's pod racer. And again, just even more class from the Mandalorian writers, adding in these little details that we see throughout the episode. I'm not sure if there's any more Easter eggs, apart from, obviously, Boba Fett and the Krayt Dragon Peril, which we've already talked about. There's nothing else really big, apart from a little detail where if we travel back to A New Hope, we hear Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi, whatever you want to call him, screaming at the Tusken Raiders, saving Luke after he gets attacked by the Tusken Raiders. And he makes a noise. Now, at the time, I can't imagine of recording they were thinking of a Krayt Dragon, but that was confirmed that Obi-Wan Kenobi was making the noise of a Krayt Dragon to scare off the Tusken Raiders. Now, I'm not going to lie, if I was a Tusken Raider and I saw an old dude making noises in a cloak, I'd laugh. But you know what? I'd also probably run, because that's scary. Like, that's spooky.
Yeah.
That was probably just a play on what footage they had in the past. But
yeah, it wouldn't be the first time we've done it from that scene, because obviously when Obi-Wan puts his hand on Luke's head, that's now force healing. After that being seen prominently in the sequels.
Yeah. And then obviously there's also the hello there.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a couple of Easter eggs, very big Easter eggs in my eyes, but they were nice to see. I don't think there's anything else unless you've got anything.
Well, if we've missed stuff, do tell us.
Oh yeah, 100%. We love hearing about this stuff. Gives us stuff to talk about on the show. So once again, comment section is open.
Yes.
So we'll move on now to our opinions of the show and what we think's coming in the next couple of episodes. Obviously, Friday's coming up. I've got a lot of editing to do, so we'll get right into this. Opinions on Chapter 9, The Marshal, Rory.
I thought it was the best Mandalorian episode so far. I mean, I think I have said before that the Mandalorian season 1 didn't capture me as much as it did everyone else. So I thought there was too many filler episodes. I thought it just wasn't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to season 2 because now we've got a purpose. The Mandalorian has a purpose. He has to deliver the child to his home. And so we've got something that it's building up towards. Season 1 didn't really feel like it was building towards anything. It was just going about doing stuff that didn't really feel all that necessary.
Exploring the galaxy almost. He was just kind of showing us what was going on, which I suppose was helpful. You know, it was good to see.
No, it was good.
It was good to see what else was going on in the galaxy. But at least with season 2, we've now got a driven story.
Yeah, I think
we've got to reach out to someone.
Yeah, if they left it with just one season, I thought it'd be a bit like meh. But now that they're bringing it into a second season, it makes the first season better.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do feel that Boba Fett is going to be an antagonist. He's not going to be a good guy.
Yeah, I can imagine he's going to be trying to trick, because he technically isn't a Mandalorian. He was just kind of thought of.
He was he was raised by somebody who said he was a Mandalorian.
Yeah, you know, technically he's not a Mandalorian, but he was raised under a Mandalorian, and he's a confusing guy. There's two sides to the argument, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's even questions over whether Django was a Mandalorian himself. I mean, just looking at the Wikipedia, he only claims to be from Concord Dawn.
Which that's a Mandalorian moon, isn't it?
Yes, we see that in Rebels.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't know. You know, I reckon there's going to be a lot of tomfoolery from Boba Fett. You know, he's going to say, "Oh, you've got my armor. Jesus Christ, I was eaten by the Sarlacc pit. Please help me." And then he's gonna turn him into like the Empire or something. I reckon.
Well, what's left of the Empire?
Yeah, what's left? What's still going strong, which is not a lot. Season 2 is looking good. first episode,
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
I
set
don't-
up so well.
I don't think they could have done it any better.
No,
if I'm being brutally honest.
I was expecting them to bring up Boba this episode.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen at some point, but I think they've done it very well.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
it's
100%.
they've made such an exciting and interesting first episode. You just want to watch the rest of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's gonna be good, and I am so excited for season 2. See when December 18th rolls around and we get the season finale. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do with myself after that.
Watch it again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I can imagine. I'm just gonna make this clear for all our listeners. Mandalorian. We me and Rory, we sit down once a week. We will try and not talk about Mandalorian every single episode, but
We're gonna have to.
we're literally gonna have to. It crossed my mind just there.
Well, the biggest Star Wars thing going on right now. There's not really
Yeah.
much else going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
When the next
we'll-
episode,
We'll try and do other stuff as well alongside it, but we'll reserve some time for talking about the new episodes.
yeah, 100%. Whether that's a episode with 2 parts, so we talk about Mando to start with for 15 minutes or so, and then we have a chat about Lego for the next 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Or whatever else we
Yeah.
feel like talking about then.
The
And we'll
episode will change massively for the Mandalorian because we do only have time to sit down once a week, and then Rory has to go off and do his studies. I edit this for my college, so it works out really well for us. Rory gets to talk about Star Wars, and I get to slave away behind a keyboard.
I don't have to do any of it, and I love it.
That's true. That's true. Have we wrapped everything up? Anything else you want to mention?
Not really. I mean, I feel like, you know what? You guys should tell us what you thought about the Mandalorian episode, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about it for quite a while now. You're probably bored of listening to us talk about it, so I mean, you should tell us what you think.
Yeah.
I'd be
What
really
we'll do
interested to see that.
Yeah, what we'll do is if you head over to our Facebook or just the comment section down below, if you head over to Yari Opuf Core and Young Han Solo Core, we'll put up posts asking what you guys thought of it, get commenting on it, and we'll read some replies out on the podcast. Same with the comment section. If you want to tell us what you thought of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, and if you want to tell us what you predict in coming episodes, me and Rory sit down and we'll sit through all these comments and have a cracking chat about it.
Yeah, and if you want to join the Discord as well, that's also a great place to talk about Star Wars with us.
Yeah, 100%. And if you get bored of Star Wars, we're talking about other stuff, playing Among Us and all that sort of stuff. I guess we'll close the curtains now for the episode 3 of the podcast.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
fine.
podcasting. So I was Hamish Smith. My links are all in the description along with Rory's. But if you want to go through all your links, Rory, I'll let you go ahead.
They're in the description there.
In the description. Once again, Rory.
Make sure to check them.
Yeah, once again, Rory, thanks for joining me on the show. It's been a blast.
Of course. Yep.
And we'll see you next week when episode 2 is released. Oh, I'm excited.
Yep. So am I. Yeah. We'll see you next time, boys.
We'll see you next week. Catch us later. Have a fantastic week. Remember, like, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Yep.